Okay, so today is Friday, September 10th, 2021. Today we're going to be learning about adding, subtracting, and multiplying functions. But to get started, make sure on Canvas you complete your do now. Your do now, you are analyzing this function here. So with analyzing this function, you're going to tell me what parent function does it most resemble. So using your parent function book, on page 14, what's the domain? Remember, domain is from left to right, what's happening. Your range is from bottom to top, what's happening. Where your x and y intercepts. Are there any asymptotes? What's the maximum, minimum, maximum value, minimum value, symmetry? You're going to answer all these questions about the function to the best of your abilities, okay? All right, so we are getting started with 138, adding, subtracting, and multiplying functions. So this is going to be page 21 in your interactive notebook. Function operations. So today we're focusing on these three: adding, addition, subtraction, and multiplication. When you're adding two functions, you are combining like terms. When you're subtracting two functions, you're going to have to distribute, then combine, then combine. And then multiplication, that is distribution. Okay, we're going to talk about division a little later, but for the most part, division is not terrible. So our first example, we have adding, subtracting fractions, so functions. So we have 4x plus 7 and 12 plus x. And it wants us to add and subtract the two. So 4x plus 7 plus 12x plus 2. So that becomes 4x plus 7 plus 12 plus x. And remember, I said you're combining like terms, so I have 4x and 1x. That's going to make 5x. Then I have 7 and positive 12. That's going to make 19. And bam, you're done. Okay, subtraction. So we have f minus g. So we have 4x plus 7 minus 12 plus x. Notice how I use parentheses. I'm going to distribute this negative because I'm multiplying by negative 1. So I have 4x plus 7 minus 12 minus x. Combine like terms, so 4x and negative x. That's going to give me 3x. Then I have 7 and negative 12. 7, so I have $7 and I spend $12. My bank account now says negative 5. So my answer is 3x minus 5. All right, so I'd like for you to pause and give it a shot on your own or with your partner. Okay, welcome back. So you had 2x squared plus 8, and you had x minus 3. So it wants to do f plus g. So that's 2x squared plus 8 plus x minus 3. I'm going to combine like terms. My only like terms I have are 8 and negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to write them in order. So 2x squared plus x and then plus 5. Bam. Now we're going to subtract f minus g. So that gives us 2x squared plus 8 minus x minus 3. Remember, we said you have to distribute the negative. Subtraction. So that gives us 2x squared plus 8 minus x plus 3. Because the negative times a negative is a positive. We're going to combine like terms again. So that's 8 and 3. So we end up with 2x squared minus x plus 11. Okay, how did you do? I hope you did great and awesome. Now we're going to talk about multiplying functions. So we have x squared minus 9 and x plus 3, and we want to multiply. So there's two ways we're going to multiply. So we have our traditional FOIL, and then we have the box. Whichever one you want is 100% up to you. So I'm going to start with what I was taught, which is FOIL. So we have x squared minus 9 times x plus 3. Okay, so with FOIL, it's your first term to your first term. And when you multiply, remember when you are, if you have x, a times x, that's not an x, times xb, it equals x to the a plus b, right? So I have 2 and I have a 1, so that makes x to the third. And then we have x squared, so our outside terms, x squared times 3 is 3x squared. And we have the inside, negative 9x. And then we have our last, so negative 9 times 3. So it was negative 27. There are no like terms, so this is my final answer. Okay? So that's your FOIL option. The next is the box. So literally, just like in biology, you set up a Punnett square. And on the outside, you're going to have your terms. So we have x squared, negative 9, and we have x and positive 3. And you're going to multiply. So we have x squared times x is x to the third. We have x times negative 9 is negative 9x. We have x squared times 3 gives me 3x squared. And we have 3 times negative 9, which gives me negative 27. I'm going to take them out in order from largest to smallest exponent. So we have x cubed plus 3x squared minus 9x minus 27. Notice we get the same answer, just a different method. All right, so yeah. So I would like for you to try, and we're going to talk about what happens with the function. Okay, so let's see what you guys did, or not, because it's kind of a bigger one. But on this one, you have two options again. You either can FOIL or box, but this time you have 3 terms. So if you choose to do the box is going to be a little bit larger. So if you choose to do the box, you're going to have a 3 by 2. So that's 3x squared minus 11x minus 4, and then 3x plus 1. So 3 times 3 is 9. X times x squared is x to the third. 3 times negative 11 is negative 33. X times x is x squared. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared. 1 times negative 11x is negative 11x, and 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Typically what happens with the box, as long as your original functions are in order, the diagonals would be your common terms, your like terms. So I'm going to look. I have 9x cubed. I have 3 minus 33x squared, which is negative 30x squared. I have negative 11 and negative 12, which is negative 23x. And then I have negative 4. So I'm looking for 9x cubed minus 30x minus 23x minus 4. So it can't be this one or this one. So it's down to these two. And it's saying that if I was to divide, what would happen? So if I was to divide here, okay, so when we talk about dividing, we'll come back to this one, but for right now, we're not going to talk about it. Ignore the division. And that's where the difference lies. So in all honesty, it could either be A or it can be D based on our function. Notice how it says the domain is all real numbers. The domain is all real numbers. And the reason why the domain is all real numbers is because this is a cubic function. So my parent function here is cube. It's a cube function. And what's the domain of cube functions? All real numbers, okay? Now, if you're a person who would want to do FOIL or distribution, you would have 3x squared minus 11x minus 4 times 3x plus 1. And you would distribute. So 3x cubed times 3x is going to be 9x. I need to put cube. I'm going to put squared. Fix that. Sorry. I now get 9x cubed. And then I distribute. And I have 3x squared times 1. Which is going to give me 3x squared. And then I'm going to do the next one. So every term in this trinomial is going to be multiplied to every term in this binomial. So I have negative 11x times 3x is going to give me negative 33x squared. Negative 11x times 1 is going to give me negative 11x. Distribute. Negative 4 times 3x is going to give me negative 12x. Negative 4 times 1 is going to give me negative 4. Do you see how I lined up like terms underneath each other? So pretend that this is as straight as a line as you can make it. So I'm going to combine. So that gives me 9x cubed. I have 3x squared minus 33x gives me negative 30x squared. I have negative 11x minus 12x gives me negative 23x. And then I have negative 4. So again, either way is going to lead you down the same path. All right. So I would like for you to pause right here and work on the exit ticket for when it says to describe the domain. In order to describe the domain, you're going to identify its parent function and then describe the domain of the parent function. Okay, so we're going to pause. Okay, so for your exit ticket, let's see what you should have gotten. So here it wants you to add the two functions. So you have 4x plus 8 and 2x minus 12. So we have 4x plus 8 plus 2x minus 12. Combine like terms. So we get 6x. Not need to color. 6x. And we have 8 minus 12. It's going to give us negative 4. So our answer is 6x minus 4. All right, here it says now you're going to do f minus g. So we have 4x plus 8 minus 2x minus 12. The first step here now is to distribute the negative. So we have 4x plus 8 minus 2x plus 12. And now we're going to combine like terms. So we have 4x and negative 2x, which is going to give us 2x. We have 8 and positive 12, which is going to give us 20. So our final answer is 2x plus 20. Now let's talk about the domain of both of these. So notice I added a linear plus a linear, and it produced a linear. So here I made a linear function. So my parent function is linear, and the domain for all linear functions is all real numbers, right? Negative infinity to positive infinity. Same thing here. My parent function is linear. My domain is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, let's see what happens when I multiply. So when you multiplied, you had 4x plus 8 and 2x minus 12. So depending on which method you chose, you'll see what happens. So I'm going to, for this one, let me do the box. I'll do the box. We have the box. And we have 4x plus 8. And we have 2x minus 12. And we're going to multiply. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 8 is 16x. 4x times negative 12 is negative 48x. And negative 12 times 8 is going to give me negative 96. Notice again, my diagonals are my like terms. So I end up with 8x squared negative 48 plus 16 becomes negative 32x, and then minus 96. So I look here, and my parent function is a quadratic, and the domain of quadratics is from negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, I'm going to pause and let you do the right side of your exit ticket. Okay, so you should have followed this. It says f plus g, so we have x plus 2 and 2x squared, so fairly straightforward. X plus 2 plus 2x squared. There are no like terms, so literally all I have to do is rearrange this to put it in the correct order. So we have 2x squared plus x plus 2, and then my parent function is quadratic, and the domain of quadratics is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, then it said to multiply, so I have 2x squared times x plus 2. All right, this time I'm going to do distribution with FOIL method. So just standard. Pro tip is when you're multiplying, if you put the function with the smallest terms first, so I have 2x squared times x plus 2. What happens is it just makes it a little easier and less distribution, I guess, in my mind. 2x squared times x is 2x to the third. 2x squared times 2 is 4x squared. There's no like terms, so I am done. Okay, my parent function is the cube function. And the cube function, the domain is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, hopefully you feel fairly confident to do this. If class time permits, you'll have some time to work on your classwork. You'll also have some time next class, maybe like 10 minutes or so. But on your Canvas, you have 7 problems to do. And yeah, so what you don't finish during class time on Monday, within that 10 minutes, that will be what will be left as your homework. So 1 through 6, you're going to work out and select, and then your number 7, you're going to explain and tell me your answer. All right, thank you.